in. So sorry for the sloppiness of that bet, but we got it in. It only took 7 games, but we finally got it in. All right, guys.
CuddleBear saying, I only know one build and I ain't afraid to show it.
That's okay. Some players prefer to play like that, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, or whatever the hell it's called. I'm 3-raxing and you know it. The question is, do you think he'll do it? But let's get our introductions out of the way real quick. Our Zerg player in the top left-hand corner of the map, currently tied up and trying to win $40 here for his clan. From Imperative Gaming, it is TheGiantNome.
And his opponent in the bottom right of Belshir, the Teal Terran, playing for Rival, it is CuddleBear.
The Noodler says shout out to the casters. Noodler love. Drive SC2 hooking us up with that follow. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. I'll run down the list one more time. And don't forget, this is not the end of our content tonight. We have one more series coming at you right after this. It's a simple best of 7 between Future of Terran and Caleb Arrakis for $20. So that should be a fun one too, man.
Yep, absolutely, man. The last one was good. The one before that was good. So
yeah.
There's no reason to believe that this one won't be good as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So we do see 2 Raxes and then the 3rd Rax going on at the ramp up top. So
yep.
This will indeed be 3 Rax Reaper again.
Just Jordan is asking how many games left. This is the ace match for the clan war, and then we have the grudge match immediately following this. So possibly 4 to 7 more games after this.
Oh man, the little thing was all zoomed. Did we?
Yeah, sometimes it does that. Whenever I enabled SC2 scene switcher, it started doing that out of nowhere. But it's such a small problem. I can tab out and tab back in, and no one will ever know. So like, I'd rather have the scene switcher than the occasional zoom. That's the
price to pay for always making sure that your thing switches.
Yeah, for sure. But the contest is up. All you got to do is ! Bet player A or B, and yeah, that's it, guys. I don't know what else to say.
Who would you bet so that people can bet the opposite
and
not lose $5?
I don't know what to call this. Like, on one hand, CuddleBear just won, but I feel like the TheGiantNome now has an even playing field because he kind of knows what he's up against.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, right, is so CuddleBear did that 3 Rax Reaper, and that was enough to bring the thing.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry, I think my headset died during that. My apologies. But you brought the series back up to a tie. But if TheGiantNome responds with something like cheese of his own, like early Ling Bane or something like that, that could maybe fight the Reapers a little bit better, then this is for the whole series, you know? So responding to that 3 Rax Reaper build, could be the winning decision here.
Holy shit. So the reason for that pause was his teammate just beat True in Dust Gaming League. That's worth a pause. Yeah, if you got to congratulate your homie after bopping True, I feel like that's a good reason to pause the game. So I can live with that. But the funny story here is the fact that the man told him he was going to 3 Rax Reaper him, and sure as shit, Giggle, guess what he's doing?
3 Rax Reaper.
He's doing a 3 yeah, exactly. He is 3 Rax Reapering, sure as shit. I think the huge difference here is it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to hold down the 3rd, right? Because you have 2 options. Even though one of them's kind of a much worse option, I think it'll be much more difficult for the contain here. But, you know, what do I know?
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Maybe you can mask him so much you can get it, you know.
Continuing to stream across the map and poke at those queens for now. CuddleBear doing his best to keep those alive, drop his nades, put some damage down.
Yep, and the rival, the rival stack is stacking up too. But I meant the Reaper count is starting to stack up here. A couple more of them moving across the map. He already has his natural up and running too. And all he's got to do is, like last game, just deny that 3rd for as long as possible, and he'll look a hell of a lot better here in this position.
Yep, for sure, man. Just, fantastic Reaper micro there. TheGiantNome getting backed up into his base a little bit. He's got 1 queen that's incredibly low, but he does this time have roaches coming out a whole lot earlier, speed coming out a whole lot earlier than last game. So we'll see, can he hold this better?
Yeah, I think that's key here, man. There are a lot more tankies. He's even going to morph one into the Ravagers because he got low in health here. But yeah, I really like that decision. A hell of a lot easier to hold on to it with roaches when compared to Lings, and Ravagers sure as hell don't hurt either. So we'll have to see here, man. I feel like he really needs to get that 3rd up and running here shortly, but he's obviously got much bigger things on his mind. Holy shit! The Gauntlet SC2 just hooked us up with a almost 200 viewer host. Jesus Christ. Gauntlet hype. Thank you guys so much for that gigantic host. You guys are amazing. You pretty much just tripled our viewer count, and we love you for that. I would say everyone go follow the Gauntlet, but I'm assuming that everyone already knows who they are.
Yeah, 2/3 of the channel is from the Gauntlet.
I'm pretty sure you guys know. If you don't, find out who they are. They put on amazing, amazing content, and holy shit, boys, thank you for the host. To catch you guys up, here's what happened. The most ridiculous clan war that's ever happened on the Nydus, and now we were on match point, and it all comes down to this. So yeah, and then after this, we have a grudge match between GIGGLEBEAR and Future of Terran. So welcome to the Nydus. We hope you like what you see. The difference here between last game and this game, though, is that the GIGGLEBEAR was able to break out and get the third. I am like loving his position in this game now, or not loving it, but you know, and compared to last,
loving it.
Yeah,
you're loving it, dude.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
McDonald's stamp of approval on that bad boy.
Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is a better response, and it did help him shoo those Reapers away. You could see that they're at about mid-map now, man. These were just continuously on his front doorstep last game, so it is much, much different. These Ravagers going to come in here and stop them from going to the third, at least for now as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He's definitely cleaning this up a hell of a lot better than last time around. Ravagers are definitely the trick to beat this, and he has them in number to help out for sure. He's actually getting his layer behind this too, which I think will help out a lot. But the drops have begun for IMcuddlebear. As we saw last game behind this, it's not like he's only sitting here micromanaging his Reapers. He's definitely putting in a lot of macro work behind this. So, as we saw last game, he's about to do a lot of just crazy-ass drops and try to shut down the third, I would imagine. So.
Yep,
damn,
absolutely.
Thank you again to the Gauntlet. I still can't believe that. That's a gigantic host. So thank you guys very, very much for that. That's huge.
Yeah, that is massive. No Sheet, thank you very much for the follow. Anybody else who is new, welcome once again. As we do see, we're just in some mid-game posturing here. That third base coming down for GIGGLEBEAR. So we've already stepped away from what we saw last game with GIGGLEBEAR. You can clearly see that he made the adjustments that, you know, ended up kind of resulting in his demise in that first game. So
yeah, absolutely, man. This is a hell of a lot better. Completely different game already, as you said. So I'm excited to see where this game takes us. And all the Gauntlet boys are coming down in chat. I would spam my sub emotes because you know damn well I'm sub to the Gauntlet. But I'm kind of casting and observing a game here. So I love you guys, and I'm going to give you my verbal love. I'll give you my emo love later. But yeah, thank you guys very much again. That's gigantic. So the difference is the drops this time around will have a tank. Because of the roaches, I'd imagine. That's the definite correct response. But I think it's a differentiator, so...
Yep,
yeah, man.
Absolutely, man. Keeping these Reapers alive, too. Very nice. Making sure not to overcommit or lose them. Still able to, you know, poke at these Ravagers. And actually going to get 1, 2 of them and then have to back out. But this really just slows the push and allows him, you can kind of see IMcuddlebear repositioning his units here up towards the middle of the map.
Yeah, and the parade push has started. There's a bunch of bio joining this. We're making jokes, but it's looking a little scary here. He's got +1 to go with this as well, and Medivacs 2 to help out with that stim here. So this is looking like a pretty strong push again here. I think the GIGGLEBEAR should be able to hold on if he's able to just take things patiently. Oh man, but as I say that, the focus fire is real, and he's starting to bleed out units here. Even with Defender's advantage and those reinforcing roaches, this is still looking extremely strong here from IMcuddlebear as these units are just getting completely focus fired down here. Jesus. Getting those medevacs was huge, though.
You could tell how confident he felt about that particular fight as he stemmed up into the biles. I mean, he will eventually get cleaned up now, but I mean, he cleaned up so many Ravagers and Roaches. More drives continuing to make their way across the map. Now, actually, I think it's just 1, and then some Marines who are like, hey, wait up!
Yeah, and here's the really unfortunate part about using Roaches to fight this is now you're in this weird, awkward position of, sure, they're decent units, but now you're just going to get picked apart from medevac drops all over your base. And actually, he's going to unload up front here, so maybe he'll scoop up here and go up into the main. Yeah, that's kind of what I was just talking about. So now you're in a weird spot as the Zerg where you got to bounce back and forth between all your bases. And look at the production tab alone kind of tells the macro story here. IMcuddlebear's macro is just godlike, dude. He's putting on all this pressure, and he's still able to take a third behind this. He has the upgrade advantage again in this game, or at least he will here in just a second. So, damn, man, the dude is playing like an absolute monster.
Yep, absolutely, dude. So that drop is going to get picked up, moved around to that far left side. Roaches here from GIGGLEBEAR in position, able to shoo it away, but we do see some Marines and a singular medevac being moved up on the right side to start to clear up creep too. So it's a little bit of a distraction. You know, do you want to stop it from clearing up your creep, or do you want to make sure that you don't get dropped in your main? IMcuddlebear, lots of different places at once. GIGGLEBEAR doing a fantastic job of holding on while he can.
Yeah, Robert is bored with the follow as well as Fire Lightning. Thank you guys very much. I don't know how to
Good luck.
pronounce your
Yeah,
name
good
too,
luck.
but
No,
I love
you gotta
yeah,
go for it.
No, I went for it, and
Follows,
then I
man.
looked. I was like, Enzo. We'll just call you Enzo. Thank you guys very much. All the Gauntlet love. You guys are amazing. We have nothing but amazing things to say about the Gauntlet. They put on some great content, and they're what we want to be when we grow up. Getting back in this game, though, this drop is coming into the third, trying to find a little bit of damage, but this time around, there's way too many roaches for that. I love this. 4 infestors. Brofesters with burrow, too, are the only thing better than infestors. So this should be really nice, and I think is the correct response to this.
Yep. So the roaches are going to try and move out now, but there are, there is a small group of units there able to, kill the overseer and some roaches. Going to fly over to what looks like the 3rd, 4th area. Meanwhile, more of a doom drop of 3 medevacs are making their way into the Giant Gnome's main base. And he actually noticed it. You can see him split off his roaches here. So I was going to say he's absolutely doomed if he doesn't bring his stuff back. But he does. Will it be enough? I think it actually will be.
Yeah, these roaches are pretty tanky, and because they caught a few of these units before they were completely unloaded, I think he has a chance here. Okay, yeah, he actually sends it packing, so that was very well played here. These GMs are absolute monsters. On the other side of the map, we missed a couple of good fungals coming down on these medevacs, holding them in place, but unfortunately, there's no spore to kind of just sit there and wail away on them, so they will get out with their life. But shutting down the drop is good, so... Jesus, what a game, dude. Like, I'm glad that this is the way the night is going, or this series is going to end, not the night, but... Man, every single game in this series has been incredible, and I'm so hyped that these guys have allowed us to cast this. So.
Yeah, for sure. Huge shout out once again to Rival and IGX for such amazing games. Feel free to spam your guys' social media stuff again in chat if you guys want, because the players, everything has just been great tonight, man.
Yeah.
It looks like we're starting to make, towards the end of this particular game. I think CuddleBear is in a pretty good position moving up into this 4th area. Giant Gnome does have a lot of roaches, but is it enough, man?
Well, he's going to need the Ravagers, right? You need the Ravagers to file down the tanks. If you don't have that as an option, you're going to be run into a little bit of trouble there with that siege line. CuddleBear is a monster, though. He's just all over the map constantly. He's dropping in here to the natural, forcing the Giant Gnome to pull back a bunch of roaches, and now he's going to start making his way across the map and killing these overlords as well. Jesus, dude, both these guys are just playing like absolute monsters right now. But I like CuddleBear's position in that he already has his 4th down. He's been denying the 4th from the Giant Gnome, and he's in 3 places all at once.
Yep, so. Absolutely. Apex StarCraft 2, thank you very much for the follow. And we can see the tanks moving in now, going to get sieged, and with mostly roaches and some Ravagers, it's going to be hard, but then there's some infestors too, so with good fungals, could do some serious damage.
Trying to make a tank sandwich, and I really love this decision. This is what you even needed to stay into the game, and now he's unfortunately not even going to be able to pull back his tanks. Starts to lose them in the back now. Holy fuck, this was very, very well played from the Giant Gnome. The fungals come down, completely hold the medevacs in, and he was able to clean all that up. But the unfortunate news is the main. 5 drones went down, and the infestors in... Wow, I can't speak anymore. I was on a roll there for just a second. Dolphin Fish hooking us up with the $4.20 donate... or $4.20 donation. Kappa, thank you very much. Meme denomination, and we appreciate the support. So, man, this night is just fucking amazing. A gigantic host from the Gauntlet. Some of the best series we've ever casted, and then we get 420. You guys are fucking hype. Thank you very much for that donation. If it had a message, we'll hit you up after the game, but we got a lot of shit going on right now. I think this is the correct decision from the Giant Gnome, trying to get this base down right here.
I think so too, man. He definitely cleaned up that army. It seems like he's smelling blood in the water now. A couple more Ravagers being morphed in. Still has a good amount of infestors with his army, and you know the combo, man. Fungal bile can be just so deadly if you get good fungals.
I don't know the combo because I'm fucking trash at this game, but I am aware that it's out there. I wish I could do it. No, I'm kidding, guys. These guys are just monsters. It is something that I'm actually trying to work into my playstyle more and more, and that's not even a trolley comment. Because of these awesome players like this, I'm learning how awesome this is. I used to think like, oh, you can't fight bio with roaches, you'll just get shit on all over the map. And sure, it kind of happened, but he was able to see it coming and kind of negate it. So I really don't know how to call this. Obviously, the Giant Gnome has a bit of a supply lead. He's got the upgrades going too. But man, I don't want to rule CuddleBear out because look at all this aggression.
Yeah, he's got this drop wailing away on the Roach Warren. I was going to say the Ravager Warren, the Roach Warren as well. It will actually go down. So if Giant Gnome's not paying attention, he actually is going to have to halt roach production until he gets another one of those.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cuddlebear, his army is pretty significant, but man, it looks like Giant Gnome is finally ready. He's gathered his units, and he's going to start to make his way across. There are some ghosts out from Cuddlebear.
I heard it. Yeah, I heard it. I was like, wait a minute, what is that weird-ass noise that I just heard? The straight-up Duke Nukem sound. It is a ghost. Cuddlebear's going to try to defend this with what he has and send a couple drops out. I'd imagine to this fourth, try to pick it off, but he's going to have to deal with some pretty intense aggression behind this. Jesus, this game. Also, Dutchy, I saw that comment, or that compliment. I love you, man. Thank you very much for that. You guys are amazing, and we do appreciate the compliments. But that's not why we're here. We're here for games like this. This shit is just phenomenal, dude.
Yep. Cuddlebear having to reposition his units now. Come back. There is a drop at the fort that will take that out. The tanks have to get siege now. Will the Roach army be able to fight this bio? I gotta say, man, coming up this ramp, I'm not sure there's even a tank back in the natural ramp area that's just wailing on this shit. And every base that dies from Giant Gnome, every drone that dies is just so important. You can see him coming, bringing his entire army back to have to try and clean this up so he doesn't die.
Yeah, I'd imagine he's just getting increasingly frustrated. Every time he gets a Roach worn up, it just gets sniped off by Cuddlebear because he's all over the map, kind of, as we were talking about earlier. So he does have an insane army here. It's not like he's out of the game or anything, but Jesus, the amount of pressure he's having to deal with is just starting to get extremely frustrating. You can almost visibly see, you know, like the effect that it's starting to have on him. I think the real story here, though, is the fact that it's 18 workers to 49. That's huge, and the Giant Gnome basically has to attack at this point and try to clean this up, or he just loses the game. So
just really methodical, awesome playing from Cuddlebear. You can see him, you know, bringing his fourth over. He's got his army in position too. He is a little bit outnumbered here, I feel like. Giant Gnome, okay, actually having to back up, trying to reposition his units and bunch up. Unfortunately, didn't have his infestors there and committed a little bit too much. We do see him take the fight, though. Will it be enough? Good fungals going down.
Yeah, the fungals are phenomenal. Holy shit, man.
Enough. Holy shit, can he push? Oh shit, I don't know. The infestors are still alive, so this is huge.
Yeah, but unfortunately, if you look at the supply, he's still 117 to 49. All this shit defensively, I still think he could clean this up. So don't get me wrong, the Giant Gnome is playing like an absolute monster, but I think Cuddlebear has this, unfortunately, just based off the macro that he's managed to do behind this. That's, you know, we keep saying the same things over and over, but I just want to point out that he's doing all this aggression all over in multiple places at once, and he's still pretty much been ahead for macro for some of this game. So,
and there it is,
will be called, man. Holy shit, what a way to end the clan war. That was my favorite clan war I think we've